everyone, and welcome to our Sunday afternoon live. For those of you that haven't been following us for a little while, we've been doing a January daily, which, although not intended when I first mentioned it, it has transpired that I've been doing a live every day of January thus far. And we've been making an ideas book, I think, is how it's turned out. Initially, I wanted to make a book that we could store our Take Fives in, which is a Tuesday event that happens. But, this is what's happened. I've taken a book and I've altered it. So it's got 31 sturdy pages in it, the pages I've stuck together to make it more sturdy, with some loose leaves in it also. And this is how it's looking at the moment. This was January the 1st, this shabby chic page. January the 2nd, Michelle, when you finally get on, this was the mushroom page. I know Michelle is particularly fond of mushrooms, and I wondered why she wasn't present at the time, but she's been unwell, so that's the mushroom page. This is a big gusseted envelope page that does actually have inside one of the Take Fives that we did. So that's really serving its proper purpose. This turned out to be an acetate window, like that. This, the prompt for this was eyelet, or eyelets, and as you can see, it's got a fair few in it, and it's got this corset type appearance, something different. And that was the 5th of January. 6th, the theme was a tummy tuck, which is here. And a little tummy tuck on the front, which this tucks into. So it's a double tummy tuck. And a little collage there with 6 on, because that was the 6th. This is the 7th, when we did gessoing, sponging, stamping. What else did we do? Decoupage, did I mention? And it's got a little pocket here that you could keep one of the Take Fives in when it's finished. This one here is the envelope stack page. Literally what it says. Once again, we gessoed, stamped and decoupaged, because on the previous day my decoupaging skills had deserted me. So I went through it again with you, just so you knew what you were supposed to be doing with this envelope stack. And I love this page, it's really nice. That's the 8th. Then the 9th, which was yesterday, we made an altered paperclip, which is this fellow here. And he's a chunky monkey because he's a double-sided one. This is on the back, this is on the front, and he's got a dangle. We did think about doing a double dangle and putting a dangle on the back as well, but it was blowing my mind, the thought of it, so we just went for a single dangle, not the double dangle that we were thinking of. Still makes me laugh. And just on the tiniest little bit of paperclip that was still exposed, I pushed some ribbon through and made a bow. So that then slides onto, anything that you want really, and would hold anything in place, because it is quite sturdy. But for the purposes of today, I'm going to take that out because it's just making my book too fat to work on the back of that page. So I'll put that there. We made this pocket because this was one of the loose leaves in between the two pages, and we used up some of our 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper on this page as well, and dated at the 9th of January. So there we are. So that now brings us on to this page, which will be the 10th, and we have got a loose leaf here. I call it a loose leaf, it's a single page between the two sturdy pages, so I could use that on this page if I wanted to, but I actually don't today. I have already cut out the paper for the background, which is going to go there, and it's out of a 12 by 12 journal, so I'm using away as much as I can at the 12 by 12 journals. And actually I really like this. It's green seems to be my colour at the moment. So let's see what the topic for today is, what the prompt is for today. We are getting through them, but there's still loads, obviously, because there's still 21 days left to go in the month. I don't know if I'll be around then, but there is still 21. So today's theme is going to be, where is the fickle finger of fate gonna land? It's gonna land there on watercolour. And that's the 10th. Double digits, guys. Double digits. So that's the 10th. Now we're going to do watercolour, but not in the traditional sense of watercolour. We will be using watercolours, therefore it fits in with our prompt, but it's not actually painting with watercolours as such. So I'll put that away. Now look what I've got to show you guys. You know, everybody who knows me knows that I am completely rubbish at stamping. I don't know why. I just don't know why. But look, a stamp platform. Yes. Well, it's much needed, I can hear you say. And you're right, it is. I'm just rubbish at stamping. I'm just going to spritz my watercolours there, just so they're ready for us when we need them. So this is a Tim Holtz, Tonic Tim Holtz one. I'm sure you're all familiar with them. I wasn't, because I've never had one before. And it's got two sides to it. One for clear, you know, the silicone clear stamps, and you take this out and you turn it round if you want to do the rubber ones. Well, today we're going to be using both. I've got some Anna Griffin stamps, and I'm going to be using some of her stamps. I'm going to be using this one. It's big rose with the leaves. That's that one. And I'm going to be using this one with the flower, the leaves, and a couple of butterflies on it. So that's that one. So I'm going to use those, and for that, obviously, I need the clear part of the platform. And I'm also going to be using these, which are probably my favourite stamps in the world. Probably. I really love the wildflower dies as well. I just love these. Well, you know I love florals anyway, so that will come later. We'll play with the Anna Griffin ones first. It's not a technique that I'm overly familiar with, because I haven't had this stamping platform that many days anyway, and I've been busy, as you know, so bear with me. Hopefully it will go all right. Either that or it'll go all wrong. That's what we've got. So let's have a roll call before we set sail.
Set sail. Let me quickly scroll through. Roz.
Hi, Roz.
Terry.
Hello, Terry.
Kyung.
Hi, Kyung.
Deborah.
Hello, Deborah.
Jean.
Hello, Jean.
Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Kathleen.
Hello, Kathleen.
Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Hilda.
Hello, Hilda.
Donna.
Hello, Donna.
Shaz.
Hi, Shaz.
Denise.
Hello, Bernice.
Janya.
Hi, Janya.
Jen and Mike.
Hello, Jen and Mike.
Violet.
Hello, Violet.
Natalie.
Hello, Natalie.
Connie.
Hi, Connie.
Helen.
Hello, Helen.
Susan.
Hello, Susan.
Sharon.
Who?
Sharon.
Hello, Sharon.
Flo.
Hi, Flo.
Janet.
Hello, Jan.
Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
Ellie.
Hi, Ellie.
Lynn.
Hello, Lynn.
If I've missed you, you'll have to shout out. Oh, Connie, did I say yes?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Well, that's a very good turnout for a Sunday. Well done, and thank you so much for choosing to spend some time with me, which may or may not go right, but I know you quite like it when things go wrong, so this might be one of those days. Okay, right, let's get going. I have cut out some watercolour paper, and it's nothing fancy. It was cheap watercolour paper from Hobbycraft. It's nothing that you'd want to be painting a masterpiece on, I can tell you. But I think for this purposes of today, I think it'll be okay. I think. The paints that I'm using are these little sets of Derwent. I've got two sets. They do two sets, 1 and 2. And I've got both, and there's 12 colours in each. They're very straightforward. They're nothing sophisticated. They literally are what you see. And they're good pure colours, so they mix very well. But you don't need to be a watercolour artist at all. You could also use, I mean, if your kids have got watercolours, they would do that. That would be fine. Anything. Just, don't use your best Daniel Smiths or anything on this. It's not. It doesn't need it. So I've got 2 of those.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, Carol Cottrell.
Hi, Carol Cottrell. And I've got a little watercolour brush. Once again, one of your kids' brushes would do. You don't need your best brush. So what I'm going to do first is put my paper down, and there's going to be water involved here. So I'm actually going to tape my paper down to the board. And I've only got ordinary masking tape, so I'm actually going to I'm rubbing it on my clothing just to take a lot of the stick off it. Otherwise, when you pull it off, it tends to pull the paper as well. So just get it, stick it to your clothing.
We'll have to imagine because you were a bit too low.
Yeah, well, I'm sticking it across my chest is what I'm doing, because it's the handiest bit of me. But, your jeans
the
leg.
The most fluffiest bit of you.
I don't know whether that's a compliment or not, but anyway. So this is just when we add the water to it to save the paper going all cockly, because you know how paper likes to do that. If you've got duct tape, frog tape, isn't it called? The stuff that's low tack, that's fine. You don't need to do that, sticking it on your clothes business first.
You do have some in the drawer.
It's all right, I've used this now. More people are probably likely to have this, I would have thought.
Possibly.
So let's go with that.
They will have to use their own boobies, though.
Yes, you can't use mine because I'm not there with you. Right, so I don't need the magnets because I've stuck it down. Right, excellent. So let's use one of these Anna Griffin ones. Let's just check I've got the right side. Yes, it says clear. You'll have to bear with me a bit with this because, as I say, it's really new to me. And I'm going to use this one. So I need to get that where I want it to be. Oh, dear me. Sorry about this, guys. Right, so that's where I want it to be. And then I want to get it clung to the board. So that should work, shouldn't it? Yeah. Excellent. Right, so we're not going to put ink on it or anything like that to stamp with it. We're not going to stamp and then just colour in between the lines. That's too ordinary. Everybody does that. We're going to do something, well, we're going to attempt something a bit more exciting. Can you see there both sides? Yes, you can. So I've got my water mister thing. It's not an art one. It came from the chemist shop. I think it's one of these travel things that they sell for when you're going on your holidays. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm just going to mist this paper that I've got down there.
Maybe across a little. Now you can see more of it.
Yeah, we all right there?
Yep.
So that's misted quite heavily, actually, perhaps a bit too much. I'm just going to put a bit more down there and then take a bit of kitchen towel and mop up the bits that are really excessive. Right, so it's damp. It's damp. Then I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to just make a start. So get some water on my brush, pick up some of this really nice vibrant green. So you just pick it up with your brush. This is why you don't really want your best watercolour brushes. And then I'm going to add some water to that to make it quite a loose mix. So there we are, it's quite watery like that. And then I'm going to paint the leaves. And don't be too fussy about this. There's no need for it. Just get some sort of colour as best you can. And with I've noticed with these cling stamps, it doesn't really like to cling to them. So just put your paint over as best you can, really, over the leaves. And don't be too fussy. If you go over the sides, doesn't matter. You just want some colour on them.
Hi, Pernilla.
Hi, Pernilla. That's a pretty name.
Pernilla Lindberg.
Oh, she sounds Scandinavian. Right, so I've got some colour on there. So let's just stamp that and see what happens. And what you want is a sort of smooshy type appearance. Smooshy.
Technical term.
Yeah, like that. Smooshy like that. That's lovely. That's grand. So I'm just going to take off that, just dab it. That's all. Don't need to get too fussy. Now I'm going to clean my brush out with that green. And I'm going to move on to a colour for the roses. Now it looks to me like there's a big rose here, a biggish bud there, and two smaller buds here. So what colour to use? I might go for like a purpley colour. So I'm going to get some red. See what I mean about these colours? They're really true colours. They're not sophisticated really in any way. So there we are, we've got a sort of purpley colour. Just add a bit more water to it, because this first pass by we want it to be, like I say, a bit smooshy. So just get your paint and put it on where you think the rose is. And it's a bit difficult to see, to be honest. It's a bit, put it where you think really. On all of them that you think is that sort of colour.
Hi Nancy.
Hiya Nancy, welcome along. And this is a bud as well, I think, here. So let's stamp that. And I'm just hanging about because I just want that to transfer really quite well. So it's not a sort of touch and go. It's a touch, push and go. So let's have a look. Yes, that's lovely. That's really nice. I mean, you can see where we're going now. We've kind of got a base. But I would quite like that to be a bit more wet. So I'm just going to mist my stamp a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more red to that. And go back over that and see if I can get it just... I kind of want a background in is what I'm trying to do. So I'm putting quite a lot of paint on that, which is going to have to go somewhere. So let's hope it goes onto our page. And the buds. So you see, I'm not fussed if I'm going over or I'm not getting all of it or whatever. Let's try that. Yeah, okay. Well, we're getting somewhere. I would like that to be more moist. So I'm going to take my life in my hands and I'm just going to spritz that. And hope that the next time it's going to go a bit more everywhere. I think these Anna Griffin stamps are fabulous stamps for what they were intended for. They're very detailed, and they might just be, that might be our downfall. They're a bit too detailed for us, but don't worry. Okay, so I'm just going to take my brush and I'm just going to spread that out a little bit into the water that's already there. So it's nothing artistic. I'm just using my brush to spread it out, that's all. So you do not have to be an artist in any way, shape or form to do this. And the same there, I've got quite a chunk of paint there. Right, lovely. So I think the next thing to do is dry that off, clean my brush out and I'll dry that off, and then we can start to come back in with a little bit sort of detail if we can. I've become quite the Tim Holtz girl, haven't I? I've got my Tim Holtz dryer, I've got my Tim Holtz stamping platform. Who'd ever have thought that? I'm so delighted with it. Yeah, that's dry now. So let's take off the colour on the stamp. Let's come back into the leaves. Where's my brush gone? Here it is. Right, so I'm going to get some of this very light green again that we had. Oh, I've got some red in there, which was only ever going to make a brown. Red and brown. Red and green make brown. So some of this bright green. And then I want one of the darker greens, which is in my other palette. So that's a much darker green. A bit too dark for us, I think, so I'm just going to add some light to it again. I'm not watering this down a lot. It's quite highly pigmented. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be guided by the, can you see that? Just going to be guided by the marks on the stamp, and I'm just going to go down the middle where I can see there's a line on the stamp. That might be a bud there, actually, I'm not sure. And I'm going to paint the stamp. So it's not difficult, you're painting the stamp, that's all. It's there for you to do. You don't have to work out where to go or anything. Bobby's curled up in his bed today, you'll be glad to know. Actually, I can hear him snoring, so he's obviously quite content with himself. And just that one there at the top. So let's stamp that and see what happens. So there we are, we're beginning to get definition on the leaves. We've got two colours there and it's beginning to look really nice. There's a void here which must be, where? Here. So let's just put some colour on that. I think it might be pink actually that needs to go on that, but we'll see. Yeah, it's a bit better. So you can see where we're going. We're building this up. So I'm just going to change the hue of my green again by adding a bit more light to it. And I'm just going to paint down the side of some of the leaves. Not in any detail, as you can see. There's no point trying to do it in detail because you're going to stamp it and it's just going to get all smooshed up. So there's nothing to be gained by trying to be overly precise. But it is a way to do watercolours without being a watercolourist at all. So let's try that. Yeah, I mean the leaves are just building up beautifully. So let's go back into our flower colour, and I'm going to go for a more red approach. I'm going to add some water to get it sort of pinky. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll see. I'm just going to literally go over that and hopefully some bits that didn't come out with the purple will come out with the red, and we'll have a sort of two-tone rose. And the buds. So let's see what happens now. Not so much. Okay, well, if it's not accepting the lighter colour, let's move to a darker colour. So I'm going to use this magenta. It's real magenta. And I'm going to darken it down with a bit of that dark blue there. So it's quite a purpley colour. Bit of water in there. And then I'm just going to go around sort of the outside of what I can see that look like petals. It's quite a complex stamp, this one. Should have started on something easier. Story of my life. So I'm going to put quite a bit in that centre. And with the buds as well, I'm not going to pick it all out, just some. Okay. This is possibly the last pass for this one. I can't. Yeah, I mean, you can see the darker colour on it. It's nice. It's really nice. Wondering about this bud, why there's so much of it missing. I mean, is that just the stamp? Possibly. Let's go back in with a bit more of this purple. Yeah, I mean, there are voids in it. That's the thing. So I can't get paint where there's no stamp. But actually, that's quite nice. You see that? It's quite nice. Now I'm wondering if, when we dry it, if we could go back in with just an ink and stamp over it so you'd actually get the outline. I've never done it before. Why not? What have we got to lose? Not much really, I don't think. It's all about experimentation, isn't it? So that's pretty dry there now. And I'm just going to wipe this stamp off. What I can get off it anyway. I'm gonna stamp it up with I don't know, what have I got to hand? I've got hickory smoke. Yeah, let's try hickory smoke, that might work. So I'll stamp it as I would ordinarily stamp a stamp. And as I say, I've never done this before, so I don't know, it could wreck the whole thing. Let's see what happens, eh? Well, actually it's worked really nicely because it's given us the outlines. All of the outlines there now are present on the leaves and everything. And you can see the coloration in the leaves and they look really interesting. So, there you go. It's really pretty. And it certainly doesn't look like you've just stamped it. It's definitely got much more to it than that. So, okay. I wouldn't say that was remarkable, but it's quite pretty. I wouldn't say no to that in my journal, to be honest with you. And like I say, it's easy peasy, you know, it's kind of a watercolour impression without having to paint it. But if you looked at that, if somebody looked at that in your journal, they'd think, oh, she's quite a watercolourist. Right, so let's move on to this other Anna Griffin one. Like I say, I'm not altogether thinking that they were the right ones to try first up. But this one here, and it's got these two, so half butterfly there, then leaves all around it. That's a little bud that's in there, and then here we've got the flower. There's quite a lot of voids, so that of course means we can't get paint in there, but we'll give it a try. Now the other thing I should say to you at this stage is, if you haven't got any watercolours at all, your kids haven't got any that you can nick or anything like that, you can use your distress inks. If you've got quite a few colours in your distress inks, just make a pool of it there, add some water to it, and you can use that to paint your stamps as well. So that's a way around it if you haven't got what we are using. So does that fit in there? I want it so the butterfly is up. I've got another piece. I'm going to be just... I want to blow the budget, yeah. Take this off. See, even that tore it off. I wasn't being very careful, to be fair. Right, so there we are. It looks nice when you can see it like that, I think. Plenty of room for more work from me, I'll grant you that, but as a sort of one-off trial, it's not so bad. Seeing as it's going to tear the paper anyway, I'm not going to bother taking the stick off it, and I'll probably want this one this way. We're not using masses of water, so the paper isn't cockling at all, hardly. Right, there we go, that's stuck down. So I want this about there. It's fairly central. Stick it to my board. Right, so should we do the greens again first? I think so. So I've got some green here that I can reinvigorate. Let's make it a nice light green to start with. Oh, that's not a nice colour actually. A bit more water on there. Let's just spritz my watercolour paper. Because like I say, I want this first one to be as smooshy as I can get it. So let's do the leaves. And just whack the paint on. Really, honestly, that's what you need to be doing. Just get it on there. You might have stamps that will work better than this. I just didn't try this till earlier on today. And these are the stamps that came to hand, but I'm sure there are better ones than these. Right, so let's try that then. Got quite a lot of water on my paper, so this should end up really not defined, which is great. That is indeed what's happened to it. So let's get the flower in as well while we're at this stage. I'm going to put some red out. I'm going to put some light orangey colour to give us a sort of light orange. Maybe a bit of yellow, that's a bit orangey. Then paint the flower while the paper's still really damp, because that's what spreads the paint around. So let's stamp that out. Okay, now it looks like nothing, but it'll be fine. It really will be fine. Now I'm going to make my butterfly bright blue, I think. because I don't want it green and I don't want it red or orange. So I'm going to just get some blue on him. But I'm only going to paint the sort of inside bits of his wings. I'm not going to the edge of his wings. And the same with the little fella here, just the inner part of his wings. Okay, I know it looks like nothing, but trust me, it'll be fine. Then again, not. So I'm just going to make up a dark colour. This is a sort of mixture of brown and black, really. And I'm going to do the outside of his wings, of both of the wings, with that. And I've got a lot on there. And his body. His body, his antenna, and the outside of his wings. And then we'll see where we get to then. Yikes, bend. That's it's a bit of a mess. Too much, so I'm going to go back in with the black, because that's the colour I've just used. Just going to dab that off a bit. I'm going to go in with the dark, do the outside of his wings, his body, outside of the other wing, stamp that. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to dry that first before I go back in with the blue. But it's looking all right. Don't despair at this stage. That's kind of what we want it to look like. So dry that all off. And then we can come back in and do details. But we've already got this lovely smooshiness going on, which is what makes it look like watercolour. Trust me. Trust me. Ellie's been up since 4. Blimey. Hiya, Lynn. Right, so that's dry. So I'm just going to take the bulk of the colour off the stamp. And then I'm going to come in with not such watery paint this time. More pigment and less water. So there's my green revitalised. So I'm going to do the leaves. Nice to have that background on them that we've just put on with loads of water and stuff. This one here that folds around like that, and a stem. Right, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so now we're starting to build up the detail, but it's still got this lovely look to it. It's really nice. So I'm going to go into the butterfly now.
Ephemeral.
Yeah. So ethereal. Had to sound that one out there. Ethereal. So I'm going to go into my butterfly again, and I'm going to do the centre part of it. So I've got the dark on the outside. So I'm going to put my blue in the middle. Now you know you could do this yellow and it would look fantastic. I don't know why I chose blue and black. I just did. So let's see what this looks like. So there we are. We're starting to get some details now of this butterfly as well. So let's go back into the flower. Now I've got that colour in the background, and that's fine. I want to leave that, but I want to lighten it up a little bit for the details. So I'm going to add some yellow to our mix here. Quite a bit of yellow, and make it more of a corally sort of colour. It's quite orange still, but it's a good bit lighter than what we had. So paint the flower again. And because because the paint isn't so watery and there's no water on the paper, we're going to get more definition than have it just all sort of run out. And this little bud here as well. So let's see what we get. So there, yeah, we're starting to get this definition, which is looking really nice. Okay, let's dry that again and then go in for stronger colours and get some definition on the leaves and keep going. Okay, there we are. So I want a really bright green now for some definition on the leaves. So that's a nice bright green there. So I'm going to go down the middle of the leaves and down one side, just one side. So straight down the middle, and on mine you can see where that is because it's incised into it. But I'm sure everybody's got a stamp that's not dissimilar to this. So let's stamp that. Yeah, there we are. We're getting there. We're getting there. So what do I want to do now? I'm going to move into a dark green now. Where is my dark green? It's here. This is a nice dark green. And I'm just going to go around the outside of all the leaves. So that's a really highly pigmented colour there. And I'm just literally going to paint the outside of the leaves as I see them. And the stem. So let's try that. So I mean, you can play for hours at this. I could play for hours at this, definitely. So there we are. We've got nice dark edges now to our leaves. So they've got some definition. They're definitely leaves now. I like those a lot. I'm very tempted to go in with a yellow, which is indeed what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with a really bright yellow, which is this one here. So mix up a little, don't need much, little pool of it there. And just go over the centres, just the centres. Let's see what we get. As I say, it's a new technique to me too, so I'm sure that you can take the idea and run with it. No, it doesn't want to print those centres, so that's kind of it with regards to the leaves. So let's move on to the butterfly. The centres, as we see them, must be recessed on the stamp. Right, butterfly. Some of this really nice blue.
Jen says, Fiona, go ahead and sign your name on that and post it to me.
Thanks, Jen. But you can do it. Anybody can do it. It's kind of not even, well, I suppose on that arty side of life, but I mean, it's not, you don't have to be a blooming artist. So I'm just going to go over once again the centre parts of that butterfly. But now, of course, we've got a more pigmented mix and the paper is drier, so we should get more definition. That's the theory. Of course, those of you that know me know that that needn't necessarily be the practice of it all, but let's just stamp that blue and then we'll go back and we'll stamp the black around the edge. So there we are. I've got really nice centres now to our butterfly. And where's my dark colour? Here it is, it's gone. It is no more. A little bit of black, a little bit of brown. So I'm just going to go around the outside of the little butterfly, around the outside of the big one, and do his body and his antenna. Stamp that, see what happens. It's all a mystery. Oh yeah, look, I mean, it's really kind of, thank you very much, my love. It's coming to life, isn't it? And the very first one that we did that was all sloppy and undefined has actually made this what it is, because all these bits that have run, essentially, are now giving us that sort of really wishy-washy watercolory colour effect. And I really do like that. The flower needs some attention. I'm unsure how to do it because it's all recessed, but I'm going to have another go at it. I'll just dab that black off the butterflies. I might go just plain orange, and I'll put it into that yellow, which can only brighten it a little bit. I'm running out of wells here. A little bit of water in that. I'm just going to go over that flower as best I can, and definitely the centre of it, and see if we can just get a bit more definition in it, a bit more excitement, a bit more life, and the bud as well. It's not looking very lively either. No, there's nothing more we can do with that. We've used all the definition that's there. The only thing that you could do if you really wanted to is use your paintbrush and spread that out. I don't want to do that because I don't want you to think that you've got to do that. I want you to just think that is my finished piece, and actually I really, really like it. I hope you do. I mean, it's fairly plain and straightforward, and I probably haven't chosen the right stamps. The thing that I would say to you is the leaves. Try and get some definition on the leaves. Go, lighter in the middle, dark around the outside, and you'll get that look.
Are you inking this time?
I don't know. Shall I?
Well, it did definitely.
Yeah.
Character.
Yeah. So well remembered. I was just about to take that off.
That's why I told you before.
Thank you. So I'm just going to dab off what's left of the watercolour on there. Get my hickory smoke out. Like I say, you don't have to do this, but Mr. F's right when he says it did sort of help the last one, didn't it? It gave it real definition. Don't you just love my stamping platform? I love it. I love it, love it. Love it 100 million times. Yikes. I've just seen the time. It's 2:45. Where did that go? That's ridiculous. Right, so let's see. There we are. Well, it probably to your eye it doesn't make a difference, but you can actually see it. It's now bounded within that stamp. So there we are. That's number 2.
Number 2, the close look.
I'll take it off here and I'll bring it up for your perusal. I'm going to show you now the Tim Holtz Wildflower rubber stamps and see how we get on with those. Let's pop that in there. So here we are. It's pretty, isn't it? I don't know, I just like it. It's pretty. So that's 2 that we've done. We did the big rose to start with, and this one, both of which I can tell you would find a place, I think, in my journal. I like them both. So that's those. Now then, I'm going to move on to I'm just going to take a little minute and clean the wells out on my... Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, that would be great. Thanks. So I've used them all up. So yeah, I'm going to use the Tim Holtz wildflower stumps. Get rid of that that stump there. So for that, I need to swap my thingy around, like so. It's so easy, isn't it? And it now says rubber, so I'm on the right side, because these are indeed red rubber stumps. So let's get a bit of card. This one. I'll use the other side because that's a bit dirty. And I'm going to stick this down, but I want this for my... Oh, there is frog tape. I'm going to stick it down with frog tape because this is the one that I want to go in the book, if it's any good, that is to say. Hopefully it will be. So this is frog tape. It's masking tape, but it's low tack. Thank you, my love. That's kind of you.
You're welcome.
I found the frog tape.
Oh, well done. Grab it.
Grab it. For delicate surface.
And non-fluffy boobies.
And non-fluffy boobies, yeah. Right, let me put the lid back on my archival ink. Okay, so here we are. We've got our paper. As I said, for those of you that have joined since the start, it's watercolour paper, but it's not a high-quality watercolour paper. I think it's Hobbycraft's own make, and I'm not so sure I'd be recommending it to anybody that wants to actually use it for watercolour. But for what we are doing today, it's absolutely fine. Now, what I want to do first is put a kind of background on it, because whereby these are pretty, they are kind of stark, you know, they're just, I mean, if you cut that out, it would be lovely, but it's just white behind it. So what I'm thinking of doing is putting a background in. So let's damp the paper first.
People wondering if they can do it without a board.
Well, you need to be able to get the stamp positioned exactly. That's why I haven't been able to do this before I had a board. So I think you'd find it difficult, to be honest. So I'm just going to go into my blue. And
Not impossible.
Not impossible. And I'm literally just going to do this. So this is not tricky, guys. It's definitely not tricky. Just spread a bit of blue as you go, like that. And then on the bottom part, which is now really quite dry, I'm going to go and spread a bit of green. Yeah, just a little spritz. Oops. Paint's coming out. Oh, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So I've just got some mid-greeny sort of colour. I'm just going to do the same down here. So, you know, I'm trying to create a bit of a landscape situation. And it's kind of working, I think. It looks a bit landscapey. My brush is dry, my paint's dry, everything's dry. So there we are. I think that's fine. You know, if you want to go in and put grasses coming up, etc., etc., you carry on. Be my guest. I just want something quick, easy, that looks moderately effective. So, you know, there we are. We've got something that looks moderately effective. No more than that, I wouldn't say, but it doesn't have to be. Right, so then, let's dry that before we move on to the next step. Let's just wash my brush out. And I've even got a pot of clean water. I know, it's a shocker, isn't it? I brought 2 pots through. I'm just going to dry that. It's only going to take a sec. So you saw how easy that was to do. You know, there was no skill attached to that. There, that's wet. Right, so now I need to decide where I'm going to put my wildflowers, really. I like them all. Which is your favourite child? I'm going to put that one there. I'm going to have it just coming off the side. So that's going to go there. I'm going to have this one down a little bit, like that. And this one maybe just at the bottom. And then another one, this one maybe there, coming off that side. So we're getting brave in our old age. We're getting really brave. We're doing 4. This is coming over the side lip of my thing, so I think I'm going to have to move it up a little bit. But that's no harm. That'll be all right there. Okay, so let's stick those down then. See, this is where I think that you do need a stamping platform, because now I've picked those up and every time I put them down, they're really on top of each other. And I think you'd struggle without the platform, to be honest. I think I certainly would. It's not something I would consider doing without a stamping platform. I don't know how much they were, how much it was, I can't remember.
Relatively easy to make, I would imagine.
To make one?
Yeah.
With hinges?
Yeah, just 2 pieces of perspex and a piano hinge.
I think by the time you've bought the piano hinge, etc., you might as well buy the stamp platform.
Well, I was assuming that all these people would be posh enough to own pianos.
Yeah, but they don't want to take the hinges off the lid, do they?
If they want to do it desperate enough, yeah.
So I'm mixing up a green here.
The first thing you do when you sit down the piano is lift the lid anyway.
Well, it's true. So I've mixed this green that's a bit darker than the background, and I'm going to paint the stems of a couple of these in this colour green. This one as well. This is a bit of a tricky one. I don't know why I chose him. He's a bit tricky. So I'm doing the stems and any leaf that I can see. Just on 2 of them. I'll slightly change the tone for the others. So there we are. That hasn't come out terribly well, so I'll do that one again. A bit more paint required, Mother. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit better. You can see that it's there. So I'm just, nearly put in my coffee there. Just going to take a bit of darker green and just darken that down a little bit, just so it's a slightly different green. A little bit of water in there. And do the other 2. So I'm not being fancy here. And I am literally throwing this in the direction of the stamp. Because it does it for you. Because it'll only stamp the bit that's in contact with it. So this looks like it's got a bit of stem going up there. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Ooh, I've stamped on my platform. Oh no. To wash that afterwards. Right, so yep, that's okay. I'm quite happy with those. They're all right. They're fine. Let's now play with some colours, which is really what we want to be playing with. Just get myself another bit of kitchen tone. Right, so what colour shall we make this one, which is this one? I don't know. How about an orangey yellow? How about that? I'm going to have to spritz my paints. Dried up on me. So I'll take a little bit of orange. bit of yellow. I really do like these paints. I never feel like I have to be precious with them or anything. Right, so that's this one. So let's just paint over the stamp where we think the flowers are. Just about there, I think. And it's also this one as well. This looks like what we would call in this country cow parsley. It's nice, actually. I like it. Let's try that. No point in painting that because it's off the bottom. Oh, that looks nice. That looks really nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is add a bit more orange to that. And then not be so fussy about it. Just paint bits. Dot it. Dot your brush here and there on the stamp. Don't fill the whole thing in, just dot. Like so. Yeah, I mean, we're getting the idea now. It's looking nice. I'm going to leave that now to dry and come on to the, I think it's lavender, isn't it? So we need a purple. Wow, that's a bright purple, isn't it? Bit of water in through that. I'm also going to add a bit of magenta, I think, because that is really bright. Yeah, that's nicer colour. So let's just do our lavender, paint over the whole shebang.
The beauty of the rubber stamps, of course, they have much flatter
Oh, they're
areas.
much flatter. That's why you can get away with so much more. Yeah. I just wanted to show them first off the cling stamps. But the rubber ones, I would say you get better results with. Yeah, that's fine. Got a bit of a splodge on there. I'm not worried about it. It'll dry and just give us a bit different definition. So I'm going to move on to the next one while that's drying. And the next one is this little pom-pom thing. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of pom-pom thing. And I'm going to use... what am I going to use?
Just tap that one off before you fold it back over. It'll squash that blob.
Yeah. I don't know what to say, what to use. Shall I use red? How about red? We haven't used red yet, have we? So, a bit of pigment, a bit of water. And just, you know, just loosely paint your stamp. It's easy with these flat rubber ones. And if you miss bits, don't worry, that's kind of the charm of it. Right, there we are. Now I'm going to mix in a little bit of this purple into my red, so I've got a darker tone to it. And I'm just going to do what we did before. I'm just going to dot with this darker hue and come in and stamp that. So that gives you kind of two different tones on your one flower. But we'll come back to it again, don't worry. So this one on the end, shall I make it blue? You get blue flowers, don't you? Forget me not on that, they're blue. So I'll use blue. Let's give that a little spritz, liven it up a bit. So I'm going to use this nice bright blue. It's kind of like, oops, got a bit of paper there. It's kind of like the blue that we use for the butterfly on the other one.
Jean says she has trouble coordinating colours, and Janya says she's got no idea how to mix colours.
Oh,
I wouldn't answer that now.
I don't think, it doesn't matter if you mix colours. You don't have, I haven't mixed very many colours, have I? Yeah.
No, but if you mix the wrong ones, you end up with brown all the
Yeah,
time,
you do, it's true. So this is this one, so I'm just coming in and I'm splodging my colours down. I don't know, I mean, basic things like red and yellow make orange. red and blue make purple. And that's pretty much from there. That's your basics, really. So just put some blue on there. Let's bring this over. Stamp that down. So there we are. I mean, already it looks pretty, I think. Don't you, Mr. F? Looks pretty, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let's dry that off then. And then we can go back in with a few more details. These ones I can't really stamp over after we've finished because they're solid colours. So I just end up obliterating all that we've already done. I'm just going to take the blue off there. Yeah, we're dry. Right, so what I'd like on this one, well, I want the green to be a bit more prominent, really. It sort of runs out as we get near the top. And I think I've been overrun by purple, so I'm going to have to mix myself up some new green. That's fine. So let's just take care with this that we've got all the bits in green that we want now. If you buy a set like this, it's generally got 2 or 3 or 4 greens in it, so you don't actually have to mix anything at all. Just use the colours as is and you'll be fine. I can't believe that you actually can't work out colours, because I bet you, both Jean and Janya, I bet you both go out very nicely dressed in matching clothes, so you can see colours. Right, let's move on to these. Now I'm going to use a bright yellow now, and I'm not even going to water it down. I'm just using it straight off the pan onto there, and I'm not doing all of it, some of it. There we have it. So that, to me, pretty much is finished. That flower there is finished. You could go in later on and put a darker cut. I might do that, in fact, so I won't say it's finished because it's probably not. This one here, I think this was the colour that we had, but we want to darken it up a bit, like that, and just add flicks to it, preferably just to one side, and it'll look more authentic that way. So it'll look like it's got light on it. But that's getting a bit fancy, really, but you'll see. Like that. That'll be fine. That stamp likes to blob exactly the same place, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. That's fine. So now we're moving on to the red one. So I'm going to darken this red that we used with a little bit of that purple, and I'm just going to go into it and I'm going to do the same thing, just dot it, preferably just down one side, or more on one side, should I say. So let's have a look at that. Don't really want that big blob there on this occasion, so I'll leave that to dry and I'll come back and sort that out. So this, I want to add a darker blue to it. Oh, it's a brighter blue, doesn't matter. And do the same thing, just in parts, not all of it again, just parts. Right, so we're beginning to get a little bit of definition onto these flowers. So this is the last Passover, guys, and then we're going to see how we're going to put it in our book. I'm just going to give that the quickest of dries, and then it's just one more quick turn around and we're there. Yes, Hilda, play today. I don't know about being brilliant, Hilda. It's not brilliant, but it's really good fun. It really is. You'll love playing. Right, so let's just make sure that my stamps are dried off a little bit. So now I'm going to come in, I'm going to come onto this, and I'm going to use this colour, which is a brown, which is a darker version of orange, isn't it? Brown, it's dark, kind of darker orange. So I'm just going to use it straight off the pan, and I'm just going to go to little bits on the stamp, random. Don't be too fussy about where you're putting this. Maybe a little bit more. I'll stamp that over, and hopefully that'll just give it a little bit of definition. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see that, but I can. It's definitely got a bit of definition. Not sure that needs any. It's darker on this side. It looks okay to me. The red one, however, needs some really bright red on it. So let's just spritz that. And I'm just going to take this, as I've taken the others, straight off the pan, so it's really concentrated, and just add some dots and dashes, just, just be dotty with it. So there we are, that's given that a bit of definition. And the blue, now then, I want a darker blue. I'm not sure what colour that is there. Oh, it's lovely. It's like a Prussian blue. It's nice. So I've made a darker blue, and I'm just going to go down here, paint little bits on willy-nilly. Willy-nilly. Oh dear, poor Willy and his nilly. Stamp that off. There, so we've got darker on that side. And that, I think, is pretty much it. You could keep going. You could keep going forever. But, I'm guessing that at some stage you want this live to end. Oh, dear. So, they need washing. All your stamps. Give your stamps a really good wash. Thank you, my love. Can you tip my waters away as well before I tip them over? And let's just release this from the
shackles.
You see how easily that frog tape comes off as opposed to the masking tape. Oh, it's still bringing some paper up with it. So there we are, the masterpiece. It's finished. You can see the fact that we've got sort of shading in the flowers, although we didn't do any shading. We just splotched paint. But there we are, it's done. I hope you like it. Hope you think it was worth it. So I'll put my stamp platform away because we've finished with that. For the time being, I can put my paints away. They need to be washed and cleaned a bit, but they'll be all right for the time being. Right, so this, I can put my glass board away actually because I finished with that too. Now then, this I want to put in our book. So, first thing to do is to stick this down in our book. And I want to make a pocket out of that, but I have an idea for how I'm going to do that. So let's just stick this down first. hope you're going to have a go at this because it's really good fun. I made it look quite laboured actually, probably, in my presentation. But when you're doing it yourself and you can add a bit of this and a bit of that and see what happens, it's really good fun. So this doesn't have a top or a bottom or anything, it's just a sort of stripy paper. It's going to go there. It's getting increasingly difficult to get things flat, isn't it, in your book, because the bulk is just ridiculous. You ladies that are using file folders and stuff, that's you're winning at this stage, because we're all struggling with a book here. So I'm just going to take that and swipe round the edges, press it down. Right, okay. Now then, let's cut out this picture as it is. So I'm just going to cut round where I had the masking tape. The quilting ruler doesn't really want to move on it. Come on. I've got a kit to show you soon as well, before we disappear. It's a gorgeous kit and you're going to love it. You're going to hate me for showing it to you, but it's all right, I can take it. I can take the hostility. So let's make that there. That's about square, I think. Well, rectangular. Right, so that's going to be our pocket on our page, but I don't think that it's not going to have enough to get anything in, so I'm going to have to mount it on another piece of paper. And make a gusset, I think, to be honest with you. So what I'm going to do is cut it off. I'm going to measure this and cut a piece off that's 1 inch longer. So that measures 6 1/8. So I'm going to cut a piece off at 7 1/8, and then that'll allow me to get some make some 1/2 inch gussets on it. Because it's too rigid, that watercolour paper. It wouldn't stay put, I don't think. And this way it measures just over 4 1/8. So just, oh no, I only want 1/2 inch. I'm all right with no bit at the top. So that's 4. Let's say that's 4 1/8 plus 1/2 is 4 5/8. Jiminy cricket, you get your maths tested, don't you? So yeah, right, okay, I think that's fine there. So I'm just going to score in some 1/2 inch marks on here. When I find my scoring tool. So 1/2 inch around 3 sides. So the top is just going to be left as is. Is everybody okay?
I believe so.
Are they bored? Are you bored, guys? Speak to me. So I'm just going to cut my corners off. Fold those in and score them down, burnish them down. Cut off that little bit on the top there and on the other side, otherwise you can see it when your pocket's glued in. It doesn't look nice. So I hope you have fun playing with this. Just try it and see how you get on. So that's going to get glued in. Let's see if our piece actually does fit. Wow, look at that. Amazing. Right, so I'm going to stick this in first. And I want it about there, I would say, further down than up. And like I always do, because I can't see straight, I'm going to take my ruler, so as when I've got the glue on, I can tell where I want it. So let's get the glue on. Stick this down. Let's put it where I think it should be, and then we can move it around. So I think it should be something like that, which is pretty straight, guys. It's pretty straight. It's a turn up for the books. So I'm just going to press that down and then stick our watercolour stamp on it. Oops. Pop that over there, like so. Now I haven't inked this. I didn't want to ink it. I like the kind of purity of it. If you want to ink it, that's fine, of course. Go ahead and ink it. But I like it just like this. Make sure it's firmly stuck down. There we are. Okay. I've just smudged the colours there actually with this. So beware when you come to do yours that you don't do the same. Now I need something that says the date, don't I? Well, seeing as we're dealing with stamps, I'll use a stamp. Why not? Uh, 10, isn't it? 10?
10.
10.
10.
So I'll just get a little block for myself. And I want the 1 and the 0. Can't work out how this goes now. It goes like that, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? I'm going to have to stamp this out first. I'm trying to stick the non-sticky side down. That's right, yeah. Honestly, it's difficult being me sometimes. I'm just going to stamp this out first, just in case it's back to front or anything like that, which is highly possible.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's back to front. So it's back to front.
Well, you had the 0 in front of the 1 when you put it on.
So it's going to stamp like that.
That way up, is it? That's right.
Stop confusing me. I'm confused enough. So this is Stays On Jet Black. I think I need a strong colour against that. So this is just, I'm just checking. Look at that. It's no help to anybody. No, they're both falling off. Oh my goodness me. Come on. Oh, what is this about? Why is this happening? Well, yeah, it's the right way round, but the stamps want to fall off. This is the joy of lives. But yeah, that's right, isn't it? 10 like that, yeah. So I'll move them slightly further together. I hope they're going to stick on there, at least until I get them stamped. They're now not straight on my block, so... Let's hope that that works, because it's really not solid sort of underneath them. Yay! That's all right. It says 10 to me. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to show you today. I do, however, just want to show you a kit that I've just been given by Lorna Taylor from Tailor Made Journals, and it's just divine. Could you pass it over for me, please? So there's our watercolour picture in our book. That's watercolour ticked off our list of prompts. And I hope you like it. And more than I hope you like it, I hope you're going to have fun making it.
The double-sided ones on the top.
Yeah. So just quickly whiz through this kit of Lorna's, which is the shabbiest of shabby chic. I can tell you it's gorgeous. So here we are. Look how many pages there are. There are loads. Loads and loads. 32 in fact. So I'll just go through them. Okay. Let's just move things out. Move things out the way. Right. So yes, it's called La Vie en Rose, I think. And here it is. And it's in a shop now as of yesterday evening. So that's that. And on the back side, oh, that's just scrumptious. Scrumptious. So these are the pages I'm showing you first. So I don't want to be spending your money for you. But by the same token, aren't these beautiful? If you really like shabby chic, like I do, then these are right up your street. Look at that. So I've printed them with one heavily patterned side and one that's much plainer, so it could be used for journaling. Oh, it's just delicious. Delicious. And that's it almost looks like coffee stained paper actually, and you could print that out, you know, on the back of your tags or whatever if you wanted to as well. And then we get on to the elements, you know, the ephemera, and I mean, just look at the quality of them. They're really beautiful. Some book plates, tags, gorgeousness, general gorgeousness, that which is beautiful. Yeah, La Vie en Rose, Tailor Made Journals. Look at these tags. I mean, they're just tailor-made. You don't really need... Tailor-made! They're tailor-made. They're made by a tailor. Indeed, they are, Lorna. Our very own Lorna. And this one... Oh, they're just lovely. Look at these ones. Beautiful pockets and the little cards that go in them, and then some words: La Vie en Rose, Life in Pink, Journal, Dream, Journey, Faded Rose, French Rose and Cottage Rose. Lovely words, lovely. This one with some corner pockets, some thread winders, some tiny little labels here which are always useful to have, the two pockets and the cards that go in them, in a mason jar. Fabulous. And these little ATCs, they're always useful. You can use them for corner tucks, use them for embellishments on other things. 8 of those, really nice. And then these 3 big ginormous tags that you can do what you want to do with them, of course, but they're nicely constructed. Ah dear, they're all so nice. This here, and oh, what can I say to you? I mean, they're just all beautiful. I can't wait to use them, but I do have other kits to use first. Although it might jump up the ladder, I don't know. And this lovely big shabby envelope, look at that. That is just gorgeous. Gorgeous. And this one actually isn't far behind it. You know, the work's kind of done for you with this, really. By the time you cut everything out, you've got your pages, which are backed with a plainer page. Cut all this ephemera out, your job's done. Add a touch of lace, and you're there. Envelopes, lozenge-shaped, circular-shaped things, some little dots. This is beautiful. This is a letter. And it's just brilliant for journaling. You know, include that in your journal somewhere and leave the back plain, and it's perfect for journaling. I've printed this on white. I guess it would look really good on cream as well, but I like the true colours when I print it on white. So here we are. This is a letter that's had a seal on it. It's all, you know, you can see where you fold it in. Beautiful. Some fussy cuts and some journaling cards. Field labels, lovely, just lovely. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? It's beautiful. And this, oh, she's just beautiful, isn't she? And then a page of fussy cuts with birds and roses and whatever. Now, that is, to my mind, the most beautiful kit. It's so vibrant, and yet it's really shabby as well. You know, you think of shabby and it's all kind of washed out colours and whatever. This, look at it, it's not washed out at all. It's really lovely. And I'm going to be fussy cutting this out tonight because I really love it. So that's Lona's latest kit. It's for sale in her Etsy shop, which is Tailor Made Journals. You're under absolutely no obligation to buy it. I just wanted to show it to you because it's just beyond beautiful. So there we go, guys. I think we've reached the end of today's live. I hope you like what we managed to achieve. Let's have a look at it and see. Yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it? And the other ones that we did, which are also quite nice. That one, I quite like that one actually. That's probably my favourite of what we've done, to be fair. And this one, which was our first one when we're just sort of finding our feet. But the leaves on that have turned out really nice, I think. So play around, see what you can, you know, see what you can do, see how you like it. It's a nice technique. And as I say, I'm very, very new to it. So as a consequence, I need to practice. But I wanted to show it to you because it's interesting. So I will see you for day 11 of our January daily. Day 11 already. And that will be same time, same place, 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock? 11th of January at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock UK time, I will be here showing you something of which I have no idea what. Okay, so see you soon. Bye guys, stay safe, be careful out there. Bye, thanks for joining me.
Bye, see you tomorrow hopefully.